All right, so today we're going to do an experiment. We're looking at blood flow restriction training and how that compares to just normal training. So me, Kate, and Vinny are going to do some tests on this for an overhead press as a compound exercise and also calf raises as a isolation exercise. So yeah, let's see what the results are.
So I was on 10 kilos each side, shoulder press. I got 13 reps and then 30-second rest, and then I got 9.
So we're going to move on to some isolation exercises now. That's bicep curls for Vinny and calf raises for me. Vinny's got football tomorrow, and in his words, BFR calf raises would ruin him.
I was going to say that on the shoulder press, I definitely felt it in like the surrounding, like my fixator muscles a lot more, as opposed to the bicep curl. With the blood flow or without, it was pretty much the same. It was just much more intense with the blood flow on the bicep.
I'm really not looking forward to these. I've only done them a couple times, and they're hard. So a little trick is like you don't put them on too tight to start, because they're going to inflate to the right pressure anyway. So you got to like, snug, but still a little bit of a give and there. So yeah, on legs we do 80%, and on arms it's only 50%. So these are going to be rough. All right. It doesn't go away. Like the burning is still going. Like it's like I'd never stopped. It's like I'm still doing the set. So yeah, that was 15 on the second set, so half as many, and yeah, I would say it's more tough than doing 30 without them. All right, so we're back. How'd you find it?
I thought it was a good test. It probably went as I was similar to what I was expecting
Yeah.
in terms of like the comparison between how many reps you'd get on the second set without the blood flow and then how many reps with the blood flow.
So, like, one of the things I noticed is like, generally, like when we repeated on the without the blood flow restriction, we were within like 3 or 4 reps of what we got the first time.
Yeah.
And then when we repeated it with the blood flow, it was like half the reps on the second time.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically. So, like, feeling wise, I actually, when we were using the weights, obviously we were using a lighter weight for the blood flow restriction.
Mm-hmm.
And in that first set, I got a few more reps because that's sort of what you do with it. That's the point. But I'd say like feeling wise, I actually felt like I could push like sort of harder with the blood flow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got that burning sensation a little bit
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
and then it really felt like those last few reps were like really grindy.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Yeah, similar to what I said earlier, with the shoulder press, the compound movement, the shoulder press, with the blood flow, I don't know for what reason, but I felt more of like a burning in my entire shoulder. Like it wasn't just my front delt, it was like my
Yeah.
rear and my side as well.
So like I think so one of the reasons I wanted to test like a compound as well as just an isolation movement was because it's pretty obvious that it's going to work for a bicep because it's the blood flow is stopping there.
Yeah,
But I do wonder, I think it might be a case that the triceps are hitting failure sooner, so you're forced to use your shoulders more.
yeah,
But you're right. Yeah, I felt like instead of it just being concentrated on that front
yeah,
delt, like I felt like a lot more side delt when
yeah,
using the blood flow restriction.
straight
And
away.
like, so I think it definitely makes the shoulder press more of a shoulder exercise
Yeah,
instead of
100%.
just a front delt and tricep.
Yeah.
Like you really felt that
Mm-hmm.
all the way around. And then I think like we didn't test it today, but I think it'd be the same thing with squats as well. Like, because the quads would hit failure sooner, you're forced to use the glutes more, and then you get more quad and more glutes, even if
Yeah.
you're not cutting off the blood flow to them.
Yeah.
Like you're still getting that benefit, which is pretty cool. Like I felt with actually the test that I did on the calf raise, obviously I use the same weight for both.
Yeah.
And on the without it, I did 2 sets of 30, which, they burn, like they're tough. Like that's a lot of
Yeah.
calf raises, especially on deficit for me.
Yeah.
And then with the blood flow restriction, it was a totally different game.
Yeah.
It was so much burning in the calves. Like I don't know another way to replicate that kind of burning.
No.
It's like it's brutal. Like it's really, really, really tough.
I think it's partly because even just standing, your calf muscle is getting stretched a fair bit just standing, as
Yeah.
opposed to like your bicep when you're just like standing normally with your bicep or maybe another movement.
Yeah, I think like it was really weird because like after I finished that first set, it didn't go away.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
doesn't.
burning just stayed there until I started the second set,
Yeah.
and it almost felt like I started exactly where I left off from. I think I got like 13 reps in that second
Yeah.
set. And I was really trying to grind them out, and I got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really tough. So who do you think could benefit from blood flow restriction training?
Definitely older age people,
Yep.
purely because they tend to not want to lift heavier.
Yep.
Potentially people that are more amateur lifters because they maybe can't focus on the muscle that they're meant to be using.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
In a weird way, say someone doing overhead press was like, my back's, I'm feeling it in my back because I'm arching or this, that and the other. Take the weight down, put the blood flow on, and they'll definitely feel it in the right place.
So I know, like, I used them because I hurt my back earlier this year.
Mm.
I got a bulging disc, which is an old injury that popped back up, and those cuffs allowed me to start training again within like 3 weeks
Yeah.
of rehab, and really taking muscles, like training them really, really hard, and only using 4 to 7 kilos,
Yeah.
like really, really light on those, because I was like, even just to do like a shoulder press or a chest press, like I didn't feel comfortable like trying to lift like 20 or 30 kilos like I normally would, but I could lift 4 or 5 and my back felt confident with that, and it sort of worked because I didn't re-injure my back. And to be able to train legs like that, like just air squats was enough to really take my legs to failure. And then I think you saw me also doing like hamstring curls with the cable, but I was really surprised actually how effective it was, and how good it was for working around that injury. Yeah, I think also, like, if you haven't tried it, like they're not that expensive. Like I think like a whole set is maybe like $300, like about about 2,000 dirhams I think for both of them. And then we've got the fancy ones, which connect via Bluetooth and they're all automatic and they do the pressures. You can get the ones where you're like
You can pump up
pumping.
yourself.
Yeah. I would say like I'm not a great fan of just using the straps, like the like the manual ones. I've seen guys using those,
strap, yeah,
like the tourniquets. Like because we can set that pressure to 80, 70, 50, 40, like whatever we need, and sort of get the right amount. And like I've progressed people on it by keeping the weight the same and then upping the occlusion as they go. You know what I mean? And like, so each week you just add 5%, a little bit more occlusion, start pretty easy.
And it makes it easier to know that you've got the same pressure in both sides as well.
Yeah,
as
that's
opposed
true.
to maybe like tightening something, or
Yeah.
I guess you could count how many pumps of air you put into one. But
like they come with a gauge, so you can tell. But yeah, you're right. Like with the old school, like the straps when you're just winging it, like how tight do you put it? You're like kind of tight.
It feels the same on both sides.
Like that one, I think you might run into like some safety issues where you're cutting off too much blood flow. These ones are like at least staying safe. Like we've got some other blood flow restriction tools. Like we got the Vasper as well. I would say like just using the cuffs, like the pre ones, like they're a lot smaller. Like I feel it way more.
Yeah.
But
even on the Vasper, clients say that their quads get tired so quick.
Yeah.
It's because of the blood flow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I've had some clients use it without it, and it's a totally different experience. You really feel it in the muscles a lot.
Yeah.
So I guess like a little bit on the theory of this is by cutting off some of the return blood flow. Like I think one, you're sort of trapping some lactate in there. Like I could definitely say that with the calves.
Yeah.
Like it was trapping lactic acid in my calves. Like it wasn't going anywhere. And then I think it's also by reducing some of the blood flow, you're stopping extra oxygen getting in there.
Yeah.
And then because that extra oxygen is not getting in there, you're forced to use those like anaerobic fibers, like the type 2 fast twitch fibers. So they're just going to now be burning through sugar, which leads to even more lactate buildup. I would say like maybe I'm not sure if you take a good set to like honest failure, you really, really push a normal set. I'm not sure that you're going to get a ton of extra growth. If you know how to train and you push it really hard. But it does let you lose a lot lighter weights and get the same, if not a better effect.
The same effects, definitely.
All right, anything to add?
No, that's everything that I wanted to say. That's probably everything.
All right, cool. So there is. That's our view on blood flow restriction.
Okay.